That's right, guys. In this video, you're going to learn how to create a trading strategy from beginning to the end, starting with the indicator, converting it into a strategy, improving it to make it a better strategy. I will show you how to do that, right? And the strategy we're going to build today comes with good numbers. Check out Bitcoin, check out Ethereum, and check out Solana. Wow. Checking for overfitting and also avoiding repainting and more. It's like a free course in one video on how to create a trading strategy in TradingView. So this gives you a massive amount of power. Yeah. Yes, it's a longer video. That's why we have timestamps. So you will jump around, you will watch and rewatch sections, and that's fine. That's what it's made for. If along the way you need help, then simply join our Telegram community. We're more than 15,000 people. We're happy to help you there. I'm also there, right? So tag me and I hope I will have time to reply. I usually do, right? So with all of that in mind, the video is long enough. So let's keep it short. Like the video right now, okay? Because this will change your life forever. Subscribe to the channel, right? If you want to learn more about trade automation, crypto, and all of these things and trading strategies. And let's get started, right? The first thing you need to do is you need to manage your own expectations. What type of trading strategy do you want to create? Yes? So that is why we're going to go to the chart and we're going to draw circles where we would love the trading strategy to buy and where we love to sell. And of course, this is just wishful thinking, but it helps us, right? Because we want to make sure that we find an indicator, a combination of indicators that help us make that trading decision, right? To exactly buy here, right? And sell somewhere here, right? And so on. Buy here and sell here and so on and so on and so on, right? And I've already drawn these circles on my chart. So I want to create a trading strategy that can follow the trend, okay? If the trend is up, I want to be part of it. And if the trend is down, I want to be out, right? I want to be part of this, maybe even earlier, right? If we're lucky, we can get in earlier. Actually, I think we will even, let's see. And then ignore the whole downside, right? I don't want to lose my money again, yes? But then come back, right? When the bull market or the uptrend starts again, right? So those are, in my opinion, very good times to get in. And of course, you cannot buy the bottom. I mean, that's impossible, right? Because you need the trend to somehow revert to the upside and only then you can. So I do have realistic expectations, right? Not buying here. That's not going to happen, right? So, right? So now this is the first thing, right? You have to go to the chart and you have to draw these circles on the chart, all right? If you want to trade faster, then go on a faster chart and draw where you would like the trades to be, okay? So that's step number one. The next thing you need to do is to find an indicator as your baseline that more or less trades or gives indication to trade where your circles are, right? And so the way to do that is to spend some time in TradingView, go to the indicators. I'm here on the technicals, and then add indicators onto your chart. You can also search for indicators, right? Like this. For example, trend ribbon, okay? Because I have a trend following strategy, so trend is part of my search term. Ribbon is because, you know, the moving average ribbons, they might help, right? So I can add this, for example, onto the chart, and I can zoom in later and check if it has any sense. Donchian trend ribbon, for example, but I need it to be on the chart, right? On the price action, not here on the bottom. So that doesn't help me. I will remove that again, right? And then I can go to the technicals. I can add, for example, Bollinger Bands, right? I can go and add all sorts of things, right? Today, we're going to add the Williams Alligator Indicator, okay? But let's go through them step by step, okay? So just as an idea, right? I keep the circles and I have this trend ribbon, okay? And it looks like this trend ribbon flips green around where I would like to buy, and it flips red around where I would like to sell. That's awesome. Let's look further, right? Here as well, it flips green where I would expect it to do that, and it flips red again where it should sell. That's great. Actually, it flips green even much earlier than I expected, so it could make some more money, but I do think that it flips red here again, right? So that's fine. It might make another good trade there, but then definitely flips green here where I needed to do that. And it flips red a bit earlier than I wanted, but okay, we'll see, right? It made more money there, made less money here, that's fine, okay? It avoids the downside, although we do have a green flip here. This would be a losing trade, right? Okay, you get the idea, right? We're searching for an indicator that more or less would indicate to buy and sell where we would love to buy and sell, right? Best case scenario. That's why step number one was so important, right? To put the circles onto the chart, to put our expectations, right? To manifest our expectations. In this video, right? I'm not going to go with the trend ribbon. I'm also not going to go with the Bollinger Bands, although you can try to do that, right? That's fine. But I'm going to go with the alligator indicator. And I know it's not as easy visible as the nice ribbon because the colors are not as strong, but you will see that this will play out very nicely. Of course, I did my research, and whenever building strategies, you need to invest some time actually analyzing the indicator. Unfortunately, you cannot just go to the AI and say, make me a great strategy. It's not smart enough. I tried all of them, okay? If it was possible, I would show you because I'm here to empower you, right? To create your own strategies, to improve your own strategies. So with all of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel because at some point, the AI might be able to do that and you want to know about it and I will tell you about it. Yes, make sure to subscribe, like the video if you're already down there, yeah? Okay, we're gonna use this indicator. How did I put it on my chart? To remind you, I'm clicking on the top indicators, then technicals, and then on the indicators filter here, right? I'm gonna just put the Williams alligator indicator, this one, okay? This one onto the chart. So far, so good. You're doing great, okay? The next thing we need to do is we need to take that indicator and we need to convert it into a strategy, okay? So we actually have buy and sell signals to get a backtest, okay? And I do have a video about that, but I will show you in this video, right? Very quickly. So this video over here, which has 1.3 million views, how to convert a TradingView indicator into a strategy, okay? And we're going to use exactly that method. There is a prompt that I will copy paste and just use, right? Because the prompt solves all the issues, right? And the good thing is that since I did that video, the AI is much better, all right? So now it's easier to do, okay? So let's do that next. We're gonna go, first of all, we're gonna go to TradingView and we're gonna click on, we're gonna remove these other indicators. I wanna keep my chart clean. And the alligator indicator has a source code icon. Click on that and it will open the Pine editor, right? And here you have all the code that you need. It's a very simple indicator, yeah? And we're gonna turn it into a strategy. Okay, so how do we do this? I told you I have a video about this, so go to that video. I will put the link somewhere down below and also up top on the corner. Click on this video, right? And then open the video description and click on the prompt, okay? We wanna copy the same prompt that I used back then because it's exactly what we need, right? So this is the prompt. Here we have to tell it how to trade because the indicator doesn't have buy and sell signals, right? And here we just have to put the code of the strategy, okay? So I will copy the whole thing, all right? And I will open a new document in Google Docs. I will put the whole thing in my personal document, okay? There's no need to get edit access on the template, yes? So just copy it, put it in your own document. And now go to TradingView, copy the whole indicator code, right? Copy the whole thing and put it here where it says your strategy code goes here, okay? Delete that template and put the code. Oh, by the way, do not paste it like this because this way it causes problems with special characters and stuff like that. So just use paste special, right? Paste without formatting, you see? Paste without formatting, that's great, okay? And now you need to tell it when to go long and when to close long, all right? And the rest of the stuff is just to help the AI to not make mistakes, okay? Let me zoom in a little bit more for you here, right? So when to go long, let's go to TradingView and figure this out. The alligator indicator is called like that because it's made out of 3 lines and those 3 lines are called the lips, the teeth, and the jaw, right? So it's the head of the alligator, okay? And the easiest way to see this is when you zoom in, right? You see the mouth of the alligator opens up, right? And then it closes again here, right? But okay, so if you double click any of these lines, it will open up the settings and then you can see which line is which, right? You can see the jaw is the blue line, right? And the teeth is the red line and the lips is the green line, right? So what I wanted to do, right? I wanted to simply go long when it crosses the blue line because then for sure it's on the upside. But then I wanted to go basically out of the trade to close the position when it crosses any of the other lines because I want to make sure that it goes out and takes the profits, right? Keeps the profits and not loses them again, right? So this is what I will tell the AI. I'll go back to the document and in the document, as you can see here, I've added when to go long and when to close the long position, exactly what I just told you before, right? So the green line, the lips, crosses above the blue line, the jaw, to the upside, then go long, yes? And then the green line crosses any of the other 2 lines to the downside, then close the position, right? It's very simple. And on the bottom, I already have the code of the indicator, so that's great. I'm ready to copy the whole thing, go to the AI and paste it here and click go. Before I do that, keep in mind, I'm using the O3 model. I think that's the best one for what we're doing today, okay? So with all of that, let's go. Okay, it's thinking, and meanwhile, I will drink some water. Where's my coffee? That's a good question. There's no coffee here right now. I will have it after this video. All right, we're getting some code. Let's go. Let's see what it did. Quickly checking the code because it's not that complicated, right? So TA crossover lips above jaw sounds great. And then also TA cross under lips below jaw or cross under lips below teeth, which is exactly what I told it, right? And also the time condition because we want to trade from 2018 until the future, right? Not before 2018 because long story, you can watch my channel why that's the case. Okay, so the long condition will be executing a long and the exit condition will close the long. Looks good to me. Let's copy this and go back to TradingView and put the strategy on the chart. All right, back in TradingView, open the Pine editor here on the bottom, click on this small arrow and then click on create new strategy. All right, then delete everything that it put in there. It's a default code, you don't need that. And paste in the AI version of that strategy, all right? And click save or press save. And then it will ask you to basically name it. I will just keep the name exactly as it is, right? And we have a small issue here. By the way, I will show you how to fix that. Just make a screenshot of this, right? And then just give it to the AI and it will fix it, right? I will just put the screenshot here and I will say, fix this error, please. And keep in mind, this is just a screenshot, okay? I didn't do anything complicated, right? Let's have it fix it. I know that this error happens. It happened also in my research. I just want to show you how to fix it very quickly. So let's speed this up. All right, we have the new code. Copy that. Go back to TradingView, delete everything in there, paste the new code, save. Looks good because there is no error anymore, right? And now click add to chart. All right, this button over here. And because you added it to chart, now you have buy and sell signals. You see these arrows, right? The blue arrow is a buy going long. You can see that. And then this pink one, right? It's very small, but that's how TradingView shows it is close the long, right? Close the position, right? And so as you can see, right? The strategy now is producing a backtest, which is great because now finally we can see the performance of this without just looking with our eyes. We have clear evidence, right? We have numbers. And as you can see, it makes 11x on Bitcoin since 2018, which is pretty good. 50% drawdown is not the best, but okay. Remember that we're not done yet, right? We're going to improve this trading strategy to have even better numbers, and I will show you how to do that, so stick around. What we have to check, right, is does it trade where we expected it to trade? Or does it open a trade, right? And actually, it buys earlier than I expected, so that's fine, but it also sells earlier, right? So, okay. It has a lot of losing trades, by the way. But that's the next topic to improve the strategy, which we're going to do as well in this video. Then buys and sells exactly where I expected it as well. Then you see here it buys, here it sells. So it actually makes some additional profit. It definitely buys here, you see, exactly where I wanted it. And it sells earlier, but then it comes back in and sells here on the top as well. This is the sell signal. That is good, right? So that's nice. Here is a buy signal where I expected it. Here's a sell signal where I expected it as well. That is cool. A couple of losing trades. We're gonna make sure to remove them in the next section of this video. Here, it buys even earlier than I expected, right? That's great. It sells up there. You see what I mean, right? So my expectation is met, okay? And it even matches the recent price action, right? Buying here a bit earlier than I expected and selling around here a bit later than I expected. That's fine, right? Makes money. So this is a great trade there as well. So that is good. And we are happy with this, right? And that is why I took this indicator because I know it produces good results, right? So you can make use of this as well. But we're not done yet, right? Because we need to also improve the trading strategy and we need to do a couple of other things to make sure we're not cheating, okay? So continue watching the video. The next thing to do is to improve the trading strategy, right? We want to remove as many as we can of the losing trades, okay? So let's go to the next step. Back in TradingView, make sure to click on the list of trades and then find a big losing trade, okay? And I will find one here. It's 23%. I already know it's there, this one here. So click on the locator. This is show on chart. It's an icon to jump exactly where the trade was. Okay, this is the close of the trade and this is the beginning of it. Let me close this to have more space here. So can we avoid this, right? So the thing is that, well, I can tell you I tried a lot of stuff, and in order to avoid this, we are going to tell the AI to add a stop loss, right? To add a stop loss that protects us from these massive drops, okay? It's pretty simple. Let's do that next. All right, go back to TradingView, go to the Pine editor and copy the whole code because we already made a small change here with the offset, so it's 0. So you have to tell the AI the latest code, yes? So go here and just tell it that it should add a stop loss to avoid large losing trades. All right, and then paste the code and let's go. All right, it shows ATR for that and it's now typing the code. All right, so this is the latest version, right? This is the part that will execute the stop loss. Let's see if it has any benefit. Copy the code and go back to TradingView, delete everything in there, paste the new code and save the new version. All right, as you can see, before we look at the numbers, right? You see, this was a very massive losing trade, right? It was closing it at 23% loss, but now it's closing it at 5.78% loss. And of course, I will show you if it's repainting or not because I'm aware of this. But for now, it looks like it helped. Let's look at the numbers and see if they improved. Ooh, they improved actually quite well because before we were at 11x, now we're at 14x, and also we reduced the drawdown. We were at 50%, now 43.9. Much better, right? Good job. You have eliminated the largest losing trade from the strategy. Now we have to continue the process. What is the next largest losing trade and can we eliminate that, right? So how would you find that out, right? You go to the trade analysis tab, right? And then you simply check what is the largest losing trade here, 15.5, so that when you go through the list of trades, so go to the list of trades, when you scroll down, you find 15.5 loss, you know that's the one you're searching for, right? And it is somewhere down here, right? More in the beginning, I think it was the second trade ever, right? This one, 15.5, right? And I will click here to locate it on the chart. It's this trade here. This was the first one. This is the second one, right? And the idea is to come up with some kind of indicator that we add to the chart, right? It can be on top of the price. It can be an oscillator on the bottom, anything, right? That helps you say, okay, if this happens, right? If MACD is below 0, if MACD crosses, if MACD points up, points down, if whatever, right? And then please ignore this trade. Okay, but please don't ignore the good trade, right? Like this one here, right? Because if you ignore the good one, then you lose money, right? You lose potential money. So the thing is that this is the trick that you have to apply here. And I have a video about this, right? So I'm not going to go hardcore into this now because here is a video, right? It's called Improve with AI. You can add an indicator to your existing strategy to improve the strategy, okay? This is a very time-consuming process. Unfortunately, you can use AI to help you, but it's not often the case that it knows what it's doing. So this would be awesome if AI could fully take over. But here you have to use your brain, your eyes, and your ideas, right? You go through all the indicators, right, that you find in TradingView. You click here, you search for indicators, you search for trend, for channel, for whatever, Lux Algo, God knows what. You add it to the chart one by one and you analyze it and figure out, is there any indicator I can use to avoid this trade, but not avoid, this trade, right? And I can tell you, right, I spend a lot of time for making this video to avoid that particular trade that has minus 15.5 and I didn't manage, okay? It took me forever and I just went to the next step of improving a strategy, but also that's part of the game, right? So sometimes there is nothing else you can do, right? I mean, the next step we can do is say, okay, I will improve the second largest losing trade instead of the highest one because I don't manage the highest one, right? And so on. But at some point, if you get stuck, you add a lot of indicators and you don't find any good combination, well then go to the next step, which I will show you in this video. So far, we were looking at avoiding losing trades. But what about not missing out a good trade, right? Missing a good trade that makes a lot of sense on the chart, but the strategy did not take it. And that's exactly what is happening here, right? As you can see, it closes the trade here, right? But then it does not open another one to take advantage of all of this, right? So it's missing out roughly, let's say 45% profit, which is a lot of money, right? So what could be the issue, right? If you zoom in all the way, right? And you have to do this, right? You have to zoom in to see what's going on. Then you can see that the green line, right? The green line goes below the red line, okay? And that's why it's closing the trade on the next candle, okay? At candle close, it makes the decision to do the next thing. That's normal, that's best practice, okay? So then it does not cross the blue line anymore. Instead, it crosses back the red line. And because our code, right? Our code says it has to cross the jaw, which is the blue line. Let me check actually to make sure that this is the right one. So the jaw, right? It has to cross the jaw. It does not anymore cross it, so it doesn't buy, okay? So that is a problem, okay? How can we fix that? Well, this is very easy. You don't even need AI for this, right? You just need your mind. And the reason for this problem is that it is selling when it crosses any of the lines, but is buying only when it's crossing the blue line. That's a problem because it's not in balance, right? So I thought that's a good idea, but it's not, okay? So what I will be doing now is simply removing this part here, right? Saying only sell when cross under jaw. Okay, it's very simple. You don't even need AI, right? Because you just delete that simple thing. But you can also take the code and give it to the AI. So let's save this and see what happens, right? When you save this, you can see that the profit went up dramatically. Okay, so first of all, it didn't even sell anymore at this point because it didn't cross the blue line, right, to the downside. So there was no reason to buy again. So it's still invested basically for a long time and it sells only here. So the profit is much better now. We're at 2,200% profit with 42% drawdown. This is way better, okay? So you see, this is how you go through the steps to improve a strategy, okay? Taking an indicator, converting it to a strategy so you have your baseline, removing losing trades by adding indicators to it. I have solutions for all of that on my channel, right? And then also making sure it's not missing out on a good trade, right? And by the way, not missing a good trade can also be solved by adding an indicator, right? So again, you have to play with indicators. You have to know your indicators, right? I will make a video about the best indicators to use, so make sure to subscribe to this channel, okay? So you have to make sure that it's not missing out a good trade. Now, this is awesome, but there is more, right? Now that we have a strategy that we like, we need to make sure that it's not overfitted and works only on Bitcoin, right? So let's go through a couple of other coins and just prove to ourselves that it works there as well without changing any of the parameters, right? Let's do that right now. So avoiding overfitting, okay? So let's keep this open, make it a bit smaller, right? And let's go to Ethereum, for example. On Ethereum, 1,800% profit, 48% drawdown. It works. There is no issue with that. On Solana, 28,000% profit, 52% drawdown. Okay, it works. Doesn't lose money. Drawdown is okay, I would say, for such a risky asset. On Cardano, it's not great, but it still makes money. But 93% drawdown, well, that's not awesome. I would never use it on this asset. So let's go further. AVAX. On AVAX, 10x, 68% drawdown. I mean, the drawdown is a bit too much. I think we can tweak the strategy somehow more to maybe sell earlier, right? So now you can add an indicator, use the AI as well to combine these two, right? And then tell the AI when to sell earlier, maybe, right? Because if you go out earlier, often that avoids drawdown, right? So if you're in a trade that goes against you, you need to get out quickly. So maybe adding an indicator would avoid or will help you to avoid that. But it still makes money, right? It's fine. Sui, 700% profit. That's actually pretty good because the asset itself made only like, where's my price line? It's not there, but roughly 90%. So making 700 is pretty good on this asset. Fetch AI, 14,000% profit with 67% drawdown. I mean, every drawdown above 50 is a bit problematic. So this strategy is not perfect yet, but that's why I'm making this video so you understand how you can proceed, right? How you can improve it. So add an indicator and maybe sell earlier, right? Even think about, let me come back like this. Think about actually using data from lower time frames, maybe 4-hour chart, right? Again, the AI can help you put that into the code, right? You say, hey, if the same indicator on 4 hours sells, then sell earlier on my 1-day chart, right? So you can do all of that. XRP, well, XRP is very hard to trade. I mean, if it makes any money, it's great. Okay, perfect. It made money. You see what I mean? So this is the overfitting, the simple overfitting test. I do have a plan for making a video about how to detect and avoid overfitting. But in this case, right, the strategy is clearly not overfitted, okay? It works on many assets. So we can go to the next step. The next step is to make sure it's not repainting, okay? I mean, I should have done that before, but I know it's not repainting, so it's fine. So again, I have a video about that. And here, one of the latest ones, detect repainting, right? This one here. Watch this video. I made it while I was in Italy, by the way, very nice. And you will find out how to do that. And so I don't have to do it now, but I can tell you this strategy is not repainting, even with the stop loss logic that we have inside. And you will get the code. The code for this will be in a Google document below. You can take it and you can double check if it's repainting or not. So I leave that to you, and then you can comment down below in case you find something, right? So that's something you must do, okay? Check for overfitting and check for repainting, because if any of this happens, the strategy is not usable, okay? You now have the power to create your own trading strategy from beginning to the end, which is massive, guys. Okay, I hope you see the power that I've given you right now. Yield it properly and jump around the video, rewatch sections, okay? Bookmark this video, okay? Because you will need it when you create your strategy to remember things, all right? And AI is a great enabler, right? Because whenever you have an idea, right, you combine two indicators and think, oh my God, this would be great. Then you can use AI to do it for you, right? But you need to tell the AI what to combine, because it's not smart enough to just magically come up with the final solution. Also, if that would be possible, everybody could do it, and then you have no edge, right? And if you're searching for a ready-made system to automate your entire crypto portfolio in the bull and in the bear, then consider the AutoTrading Masterclass. It's an invite-only community where people get access to my personal strategies, which are the best in the industry, and as well, they get access to all of my knowledge on how to manage risk, build a portfolio, analyze strategies, and play the game for a long time, all right? Of course, the strategies that I have there are better than the one we have looked at today because, of course, right? So here we're talking about 3,400% profit in the same time frame with 20% drawdown and so on and so on. Of course, this will have a better performance. Every single member that is part of the AutoTrading Masterclass has gone through an application process, and that's good, right? Because we want to have the highest quality community on the planet, and we have it, right? Do your research, you will figure this out, right? So that's the one thing. And the second thing you need to know is if you want to automate the trading signals from the strategy we've created today, or you even want access to free strategies that you can just start using today, then make an account on SIGNUM.money. It's an automation tool that automates your trading strategy on your own exchange, right? So it will look like this, right? You will have your bots and they are executing the strategies on your exchange. And when you go to strategies, you will even find the Gaussian channel on the 1-day chart and the Ichimoku strategy on the 4-hour chart, which you can give yourself access to. And you can even watch a video on how they work, right? And you can start automating today, okay? So whenever these trading strategies are trading, right? Any strategy, by the way, you can automate any strategy you like. And whenever they buy, the signal will go to SIGNUM, and SIGNUM knows what to do to execute it on your exchange, right? And when it sells, it will sell and so on, right? And for the people who watched until the very end, I have a bonus. You will save money now, yes? Because we just reached 200,000 subscribers, which is awesome. And for that, I want to thank you, and I want to give you a coupon code for you to save 20%. 20% on both SIGNUM and also AutoTrading, all right? So how can you make use of that? Simply use the coupon code WELCOME200K, right? When you apply to the masterclass, put it there, right? And also in SIGNUM, when you go to the checkout process, WELCOME200K, and it will apply 20% for the next 12 months. AutoTrading is anyway paid once only, so you will save, it's a lifetime access, right? With all of that in mind, if you want to learn more about how to improve a trading strategy with AI, then this is the next video you should watch.